Alvin in Huntsville, Missouri. What are the biggest questions for the SEC this year? It's classy that we found a different Huntsville than the one just south of us in Alabama. Hey, great question here. So it's only February, so we got a long time to talk about this. But Alvin wanted to know, biggest SEC questions this year. So I challenged myself to come up with all these in 1 minute. First off, is there a tier system in the SEC this year? And if so, what's the tier system? So by that, I mean, once upon a time, you would have like one or maybe two alpha dog teams. And then there's a solid B tier. It's usually a little bit more plentiful, maybe 4 or 5 teams. And then there's like a fall off. Sometimes there is no C tier. It just goes to D and F. There is no E tier. I cannot stress enough how compacted the SEC was last year. There were no undefeateds. There were 8 teams with 2 losses or less in SEC play. The league totally compacted on itself. And yet 11 of the last 12 champs have either been Alabama or Georgia. So the league keeps spitting out the same champion. It's just the overall structure of it has changed a little bit. And there was a whole bunch of really good but no great in the SEC last year. So my first question would be, do we have any greatness in the league? Also, is there any terribleness in the league? Because believe it or not, you need a little bit of it. Folks too serious about football in the SEC, and all of a sudden you got Vanderbilt winning 10 games. Vanderbilt, they're not supposed to do that. Is Mississippi State just going to remain a doormat? Is Ryan Silverfield going to be unable to resuscitate Arkansas? Which brings me to a next question. Can any first-year head coach catch lightning immediately? In this post-Kurt Cignetti world in which we live, we've always got to ask, is there a first-year head coach that's just about to hit the ground running? Pete Golding, I count in this group, but Alex Golesh at Auburn, Kiffin at LSU, of course. Ryan Silverfield, just mentioned him at Arkansas. Will Stein up the road from us here in Lexington. John Summerall at Florida. Are any of those guys going to say, I don't need 3 years, I don't need 2 years, I got a contender right here? It's unreasonable to expect that, but it still could happen. Byron Brown going to get the job done immediately for Golesh there down on the plains. You've got the whole thing with Pete Golding of, you had what I called the sugar high effect of him taking over in the playoffs, but then you've got to have the sustainability effect of, all right, now it's mine full time. The interim tag is ripped off. Technically it already was, but you get what I'm saying. And now I'm the full-time head coach. Is Ole Miss just going to continue to be Ole Miss? Lane should have his best opportunities that he's ever had at LSU. Okay, but is that going to happen in year one? We do know FanDuel has released like 3 over-under win totals, and Arkansas is one of them right now, and it's 4.5. So Ryan Silverfield, hey, do me one favor right here. Look down. Are you subscribed to the channel? If you are, thank you. If you're not, please click subscribe. It helps us keep the show free and free of corporate interference. All right, that's it for me. Back to the clip. I don't think they're saying championship over there. I don't think they're buying tickets just in case for Atlanta in December, but who knows? So, yeah, is anyone going to catch lightning in a bottle? How about the returning quarterbacks in the SEC? Which returning quarterbacks can elevate their play? Because we got a sickness, we got a mind disease in college football where if you have a returning quarterback, everyone just thinks they get 20% better. That's not an automatic. We call that the Garrett Nussmeier protocol. We can call that the Cade Klubnik protocol. We call that the Drew Aller protocol. We learned it harshly last year across college football. So Gunnar Stockton returns for Georgia. Is he going to really substantially improve? Is Marcel Reed or John Mateer going to substantially improve? Arch Manning's going to be favored to win the Heisman Trophy. How much better should I reasonably expect him to be? Trinidad Chambliss, if he is indeed starting for Ole Miss, your most recent memory is him playing like a rock star in the playoffs. Is that just what I'm going to get next year? Maybe even better? What about Lenora Sellers at South Carolina? They're paying him a lot of money, a lot's expected of him. Are we going to see improved play? It's not a guarantee just because you're returning. And then, lastly, and I'll move on here, where's my wild card? Where is my Vanderbilt coming out of nowhere to go 10-2 and flirt with a playoff spot? Where is my Oklahoma with a preseason over-under win total of 6.5 going to the playoffs? Is it Missouri? Is it Eli Drinkwitz? Got a workable opening schedule? Not maybe easy, but workable. So Austin Simmons, remember this, he transferred there, the quarterback from Ole Miss. He transferred to Missouri. And they open up with Arkansas Pine Bluff, and then they've got a game at Kansas. Then they got Troy. Then they open against Mississippi State. They got Florida at home. Back half of the schedule is pretty brutal, but you kind of want to be able to ease in if you got a new quarterback. Could it be them? Could it be Auburn like I talked about? Kentucky? Out of nowhere? Will Stein from the rafters on the zip line? Could be. I don't know. Mississippi State? Now 3 years in under Jeff Lebby? Is there a wild card team in the league? So those would be some of the questions that I'm asking. Along with, have you been to PateStateMaterial.com lately? Some of you went, a lot of you went to start the season. I appreciate it. We killed it in the store last year, and we'll be even bigger and better this upcoming year. But a lot of you went when we first opened the store. And maybe you didn't go again, and if you go back now, you'll be shocked at how much inventory we've added. We keep that thing open year-round. So I didn't even tell Jesse or Bradley to even key in on any specific items. Just all-encompassing suggestion here. PateStateMaterial.com. We've got sweatshirts. We got long sleeves. We got short sleeves. Do we have no sleeves? I can't remember. Yeah, well, write that down. Yeah, we'll work on that. Okay, PateStateMaterial.com. It's there. I also appreciate you guys checking out FanDuel. It is, after all, the exclusive odds provider of the show. And we are going to go on to talk later in the show tonight about a whole lot of odds and ends. You know, like I'm going to talk about where could some wildcard teams be this year? And like, for instance, last year, Oklahoma, when FanDuel released the season win totals, it was like 6.5, I think it was, Jesse. And then Oklahoma goes to the playoff. Where do we find those teams? Well, you can find them on FanDuel. At least you can find the opportunities on FanDuel. And so they've always been the exclusive odds provider of our show. So we appreciate them. And also, look, I'm talking about college football, but you got college basketball going on right now. You got the NBA going on right now. We've got conference tournaments around the corner. We got March Madness around the corner. So you don't necessarily have to wait. You don't necessarily have to reserve your action for the moment you get a good feeling on Clemson versus LSU. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. We always appreciate FanDuel equipping us every step of the way. And remember, new customers right now, you sign up over there at FanDuel, you bet $5. If that bet hits, you get $100 in bonus bets. So, hey, it's pretty much a win across the board.